We had not seen buffalo for many days. If they are anywhere near, my father would find them. He is one of the best in our village at finding the trail of the buffalo. He is called Strongbow. The other man is called Big Horse, my father's friend. I am called Wiakaluta. It means red feather. I've lived for 12 winters, and usually boys my age don't get to ride with their fathers. But my father says I'll soon be ready for the hunt myself, and I must learn the ways of the buffalo. For the buffalo is all important. Without it, we would not be able to live the way we do. Our very homes are made from the buffalo. Our teepees have been sewn together from buffalo hides. A teepee makes a very nice home, and it is very quick to set up, which is a good thing because we're never in one place for long. My mother, Sound of the Wind, always sets up our teepee. She does so with help of another woman in the village. First, 3 lodge poles are set up to make the basic shape of the teepee. Thinner poles are placed between the 3 main poles. All the poles are then bound together. Shunka, our dog, enjoys watching the work. Buffalo hides are then draped over the poles. This is hard work because buffalo hides are very heavy, and a total of 18 hides are used to cover one teepee. The hides are then stretched tight and pegged around the outside edge. The hammer my mother is using is made from an elk antler. While my mother puts up the real teepee, my little sister runs like a rabbit, practices putting one up herself. This is how we learn things, by copying our parents. After the teepee is up, my mother will clear a place inside for our fire. She is using a buffalo horn to scrape away the grass. The fire will keep our teepee warm on the coldest of nights, and it can also be used for cooking. Before the fire is lit, flaps at the top of the teepee are opened to let out smoke. Next, my mother places buffalo robes on the ground to make a nice soft floor. She sets up backrest. These are made out of sticks. And lays out a couple of pillows which are filled with soft buffalo hair. A teepee can be a very comfortable place. One of the last things my mother does is to hang our wind chime. It is made from buffalo hooves and makes pretty sounds when the wind blows against the teepee. After the teepee is set up, my mother will build a fire. Dry grass is placed between 2 pieces of wood. Next, she uses a bow and a spinning stick. The spinning causes the wood to heat up. She has to spin very fast, but soon the grass begins to smoke. Then, at just the right moment, my mother will stop spinning so that she can blow on the smoking grass. Until finally a flame appears. She'll add bigger and bigger sticks to the flame until there is a real fire. After the fire has been burning a while, my mother will remove one of the hot rocks. This is placed in a cooking bag. The rock will cause the water to boil in a very short time. After which, my mother will add some pieces of buffalo meat, which we eat practically all the time, as well as some prairie turnips, which grow wild just about everywhere. Runs Like a Rabbit likes to add the final seasoning, in this case, some spearmint leaves. I almost forgot. The cooking bag is actually the stomach of a buffalo. It never leaks, even with boiling water inside. While my mother is cooking, my father will usually make tools and weapons. Our bows are made from tree branches. After removing the bark, a branch is carved to the proper shape using a stone scraper. It can take a long time, but gradually the bow takes shape. The bowstring is made from sinew, dried buffalo tendons. It first has to be shredded into thin strands. We use buffalo sinew to make thread, string, and rope. 2 strands have to be twisted and braided together. A freshly made bowstring is almost impossible to break. Arrows are made from carefully selected branches of the currant bush. The bark first has to be scraped away, again using a stone scraper. It is then sanded between 2 coarse rocks, and then straightened using a buffalo bone with a hole in it. Straightening is very important because if an arrow isn't straight, it won't fly straight. Arrowheads are chipped from flint. The final touch is being done with a deer antler. The arrowhead is then tied to the shaft with sinew. The same for the feathers. They are tied to the shaft with sinew, then covered with a coating of glue, which is made from buffalo hide. A properly made bow and arrow in the right hands is a very deadly weapon. A single shot, aimed properly, can bring down a buffalo at full gallop. Work isn't all we do. There's usually time for games, at least for children, like buffalo hunt. It's not only a lot of fun, but it teaches us to be buffalo hunters. Throw one up like a ball is always a lot of fun. Girls especially like it because they get to throw small boys into the air. The hoop game also teaches us to be better hunters. The girls think it's funny when we miss, but sometimes we make it. Shinny is another popular game. The object here is to hit a ball into your opponent's goal. We still have not found the buffalo, and so my father decides to stop and eat. My job is water boy, and that means I must fetch water for the men. The water bag I'm using is made from a buffalo bladder. It's very strong, and like a buffalo stomach, hardly ever leaks. It is very handy to have on a trip. Another job of the water boy is to cool down the horses so they'll be fresh for the rest of the day. Back at the village, my mother is making a new dress. She starts by drawing an outline on a deer skin using a marking stone. Then, using a flint knife, she cuts the pattern out. This will be a dress for Runs Like a Rabbit, but it's only half done. My mother will next stitch this half with the matching half, first using a bone awl to make some holes, and then sewing the two pieces together with sinew. This is an everyday dress, so it won't be decorated. But many of our things are beautifully decorated. One woman in our village is well known for her beautiful embroidery. She does it by wrapping dyed porcupine quills around sections of buffalo or deer skin. This takes a lot of time. It will take several passings of the moon to finish a beautiful bag like this. Finally, we have found the buffalo. But there is a problem. There are many calves, which mean the buffalo will be very cautious. They'll run with the slightest noise. My father decides it will be best to use a sneak attack. He has brought a wolf skin for this very purpose. Wolves frequently follow the buffalo, and the buffalo are used to their presence. The buffalo will not be frightened by a single wolf. My father will hunt alone using his bow and arrow. My father must move slowly and carefully. He doesn't want to frighten the buffalo. Buffalo hunting is dangerous. Several men in our village have been killed by charging bull buffaloes. It can take a long time to get close enough to shoot.